Give me your body! Welcome back to A Compendium of Monsters. It's Death Kiss week. Before we continue, slap that subscribe button, then run like your life depends on it. Seriously, this thing is out for blood. Death Kisses are challenge level 10, and they are certainly near a 10 in the I wouldn't want to tango with category. These large aberrations have an armor class of 16, average hit points of 161, a speed of 0 feet, a hovering speed of 30 feet, and dark vision out to 120 feet. Death Kisses are immune to lightning damage and are immune to the prone condition. However, Death Kisses only speak 2 languages, Deep Speech and Undercommon. Their inability to speak Common isn't crippling, but indicates that Death Kisses are meant for encounters in the Underdark. Death Kisses have one ability, Lightning Blood. Shocking. This causes creatures within 5 feet of the Death Kiss to take 1d10 lightning damage whenever they hit the Death Kiss with a melee attack that deals slashing or piercing damage. Does anybody have a mace? Death Kisses have a triple multi-attack that allows them to make 3 tentacle attacks. Here we go with that hentai shit again. The damage isn't particularly impressive, but the range is insane. Each tentacle has a range of 20 feet. 20 feet. On a successful hit, the target takes modest piercing damage and is grappled. While grappled, the target creature is restrained. But at least the Death Kiss can't use the tentacle to attack another target. That would sound like good news, except the Death Kiss has 10 tentacles to make attacks and grapples with. Does it really matter if they can only use 3 per round? Death Kisses have one last action. Blood Drain. This action acts as a replacer for a tentacle attack and can replace up to 3 attacks if there are 3 tentacles engaged with enemies. Blood Drain forces a target creature to make a Constitution saving throw and inflicts a significant amount of lightning damage. Worse still, the Death Kiss then regains half the hit points it deals in damage. Death Kisses are created when a beholder, the entity from which all beholderkin are born, has a hemophobic dream. Curiously, this is how all beholderkin are born. A true beholder literally dreams others of its kind into existence. Due to the hemophobic nature of the dream, Death Kisses sustain themselves on blood and are paranoid about starving to death. Death Kisses are constantly on the hunt for creatures to feed on and will leave a trail of drained creatures in their wake. Death Kisses in poor lighting may try to appear as beholders to a creature it suspects is ignorant of true beholders, but examples of this behavior are few and far between. Death Kisses lack the proper paranoia and sense of superiority that true beholders exhibit. That and Death Kisses are constantly on the hunt for food. Play acting as a beholder could easily turn into a waste of time that could have been spent hunting. Death Kisses speak via their tentacles, which causes their voice to distort into a nasally, shrill sound. Maybe it's best if they didn't talk much before attacking. Who in their right mind is afraid of a villain with a squeaky voice? I can hear my players making fun of it already. Aw, look who's trying so hard to be bad. Can Butticus keep it as a pet? As far as mocking Wizards of the Coast for their bad writing and editing, I can't really find much I disagree with as far as Death Kisses are concerned. There are a couple things that annoy me, so let's talk about those. The first is that it's not clear how the Death Kiss generates the electricity that surges as small lightning strikes against melee attackers. Sure, blood is a conductor of electricity, but I just don't understand where they were going with this. It would actually make more sense if the Death Kiss absorbed small amounts of energy from nearby electrons, like when humans shock themselves doing electron transfer. Infinitesimal amounts, sure, but then its body could somehow amplify the energy into retaliatory lightning. That would make more sense, at least to me. The other thing that annoys me is that Death Kisses behave differently when above or below ground. Above ground, Death Kisses always have their tentacles retracted into their bodies. Below ground, however, Death Kisses use their tentacles as feelers, poking and prodding their environment. No. Not in the Underdark, they don't. The Underdark is one of the most inhospitable, kill-or-be-killed environments on the material plane. A Death Kiss has 120 feet of dark vision. Why in Shar's name would they just touch everything higgledy-piggledy? Oh, here, let me touch the— oh, I got my arm! Nonsense, wizards. Nonsense. DMs. The assumption is that you're fighting your players in the Underdark, as Death Kisses don't really have a reason to go above ground. A Death Kiss should always start an encounter with its tentacles fully retracted into its body. Your players are likely to have no idea how far a Death Kiss can reach, which it will absolutely use to its advantage for its first attacks. A Death Kiss is able to assess which player characters are weaker or stronger than others, which will lead it to attack casters or non-melee player characters. For your opening, consider one of 2 options. Have the Death Kiss start 10 feet above the ground and attack the closest appropriate player character, or if your player characters are suspicious and standing far away, have the Death Kiss start near the ground. The Death Kiss should immediately move forward and attack the first available non-martial target. The Death Kiss has a +8 to hit. If we assume the Death Kiss is unlikely to target a creature with an armor class rating above 16, this gives the Death Kiss a minimum of a 60% chance per attack to land a hit. Ideally, your Death Kiss will start combat with a surprise round, but remember that Death Kisses are not proficient in stealth. Don't get your hopes up. Once your Death Kiss has grabbed a player character, the next action depends on how injured the Death Kiss is. If it's below 70% of its maximum hit points, it's going to use Blood Drain. If the Death Kiss is healthier, it's going to use its remaining tentacle attacks to inflict extra grapples on the hapless player character. After resolving the Death Kiss Kiss's multi-attack, have it fly away towards the nearest large stalactite. You use the stalactite to give the Death Kiss half cover, increasing its armor class and dexterity saving throws by 2. Though bear in mind that most Death Kisses are between 6 and 12 feet in diameter, making them difficult to hide behind things. Wizards is not clear whether or not the Death Kiss can extend or retract its tentacles without expending an action, so it's left to your discretion. Any grappled targets are restrained, so they have disadvantage to hit the Death Kiss and advantage to get hit by the Death Kiss. The Death Kiss then spends its time trying to avoid ranged attacks as it latches 3 tentacles onto the grappled player character and then spams Blood Drain until the player character is very dead. You could implement a strategy where you grab as many player characters as possible, lift them up, and then drop them from a height so the player characters take both piercing damage from the attack and bludgeoning damage from the fall. This isn't in line with the Death Kiss's normal behavior, and I advise against it because it allows for the Death Kiss to take a lot of damage and doesn't allow the Death Kiss to do the thing it's driven to do: drain blood and feed itself. If you want to play Bonk Splat, go grab a Bone Claw. I have a great video on them too. Last, if your player's characters injure the Death Kiss badly enough, 40% of its total health or lower, the Death Kiss flees by whatever means necessary. Beholderkin are completely obsessed with their own survival and will not jeopardize their lives if they can flee. Players! Death Kisses are tricky opponents who are deceptively strong and good at making Constitution saving throws. Seriously, they have a +8. When you're fighting against a Death Kiss, each tentacle that grapples you significantly decreases your chances of escaping, as you have to roll against each grapple individually. As a caster, you are most likely to get grabbed and therefore should always have an emergency teleport available. Misty Step is the best option, but Blink is a mediocre alternative. A Death Kiss is going to single out a player character it determines is the weakest and will almost exclusively pursue that player character. If you're not getting pursued, focus on using any abilities that incapacitate the Death Kiss, as all tentacles release their grappled targets if the Death Kiss is incapacitated. Banishment is another good way to get a breather if you're having a bad time. Death Kisses have average charisma scores and no bonuses to the saving throw of +0. After the minute is up, the Death Kiss is most likely, as in 95% or greater chance, returning to exactly where it left. Either use the ready action to prepare a variety of attacks to hit the Death Kiss when it returns, or run away if you think you can cover enough ground by then. If you're having trouble fighting a Death Kiss, remember that Death Kisses are affected by most conditions. Use charms, fear, or even poison. I know, right? Finally, there is a creature that you can use poison against, Tamora forbid. Be careful with fear though, as the grappled target is not necessarily released when the Death Kiss is feared. You may end up making the rescue more difficult. If you're grappled by the Death Kiss, make sure to use spells that require saving throws. Casters, this is another solid argument for the Fireball spell, as its average damage of 28 will take a nice sized chunk of hit points away from the Death Kiss. Ultimately, your ability to combat a Death Kiss is limited by your imagination and your list of available spells. Anyways, what do you all think of Death Kisses? Let me know in the comments below. A special thank you to my patrons, and thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share my video on your Twitter, Facebook, or other social media, and make the leap to become one of my patrons on Patreon. I'll see you all next time.